Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be going over the 18 books I read in the past 3 months. I decided that I'm going to start setting up my videos like this and do it every 3 months because it was low-key getting tiring doing it every single month. Let's just get right into it because this is a lot. First, we have the only book that I read in January, and that is Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. And I actually gave this book no rating because I genuinely have no idea what I even feel about this book. Like, the book is very beautiful, the writing is beautiful, the plot is beautiful, like everything is beautiful in here, but I just had no like emotions during this book, no physical, like no reactions. I just did not care. And so I decided to just like not even give this a rating because I just feel like it's not fair, and I want to try reading this book again before the year is over to actually form an opinion and a rating, but for now I have nothing. Now onto the books that I read in February, and I read 8 books. First we have The Thrashers by Julie Soto, and I gave this a 3 stars, and this was low-key kind of boring. Like, I feel like we were finding out like so many weird things were happening, but we were not putting like any pieces together. I will say the ending is good, and it's something that you would not probably have expected unless I'm just like dumb, but I feel like the ending was very unique, which is why I got 3 stars, because I was originally just gonna give it maybe like a 2.5. The plot was really good, but I just don't know if the story was executed very well. Next we have When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I give this a 4 stars, and I had been reading this book since August of last year. I don't know why it took me 6 months to read because it was actually really good, and when I finally sat down to actually read it, like, I just don't know why it took me so long because it was just so cute, fluffy, no brain power, and I loved all of Noah's sisters. I can't wait to get all of their books and read about them. Then I read Good Spirits by B.K. Borson, which I also gave a 4 stars, and I really loved the plot of this book. Like, what do you read about a book that it's like the ghost of Christmas past? Like, when do you ever read something like that? Never. Like, this was so unique, and he was like the perfect character to be the ghost of Christmas past. Like, it was just so nice, and I really wish I read this during the Christmas time because I feel like vibes would have been 10 times better, but it was so good, and I'm definitely gonna have to read more of B.K. Borson because this was incredible. Like, I was very shocked. And I also think I said this in my vlog when I read this. I just felt like the love pouring out of the pages when I was reading it. Like, they actually are perfect for each other. Next, we read All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I gave this a 4.25. This is by far my favorite book in the series so far. All of the other ones have been mid, but this one was actually so good, and I had a feeling this one was gonna be good because this one gets, I think, probably like the highest ratings out of all of the books, but also because they're not at like their home base. Like, they're in Las Vegas in a casino, and just them being out makes it even more fun. And I read this so fast. I think it literally only maybe took me like 4 hours to read this book, so I just cannot wait to read the last and final book. But it's actually not the last and final book because a couple weeks ago the author just did a little reveal that another book is coming out, and I'm so excited. So I definitely need to read the last book before that comes out, and I'm glad it's not over. And these books are just like, so I just love YA mystery books. I don't like YA romances and stuff, but YA mystery books will get me every time. And although this series is not my favorite, it's still so good, and I would recommend it to a lot of people. Then I read Once You're Mine by Morgan Bridges, and I gave this a 2.5. I don't even want to explain too much on why I didn't like this book because I think I always say this, I don't like bashing on books, it's not fun, but I did not like any of the characters, especially the main female character, and I didn't even like the guy either. And usually it takes a lot in me not to like a morally gray guy like in a dark romance book. Like, they always have things wrong with them, but I always just push past it because, you know, it's a dark romance. But him, too much. She was so infuriating. Like, they do not belong together. Like, actually, like, they are quite literally opposites and should not even have crossed paths. Like, it felt like a relationship that's like trying to force being like perfect for each other when they're really not. And I was rolling my eyes 24/7 at this book, and I was just trying to get through it so I could get it off my TBR, but yeah. And then we have Now You're Mine, which is the second book. I read them back to back so I could finally just get them off my TBR and won't have like be in the middle of another series. And I gave that a 2.75, so it was a little bit better, but not by much. It was still the same thing. There was no need for this book to even have a second book. Like, they should just did one and done, because it was the same thing we were getting in the first book, we were getting in the second book. Like, it was the exact same cycle, and nothing new was happening. It was boring, and I didn't like this series, so it's off my TBR. Don't have to think about it again. We're leaving it at that. But then after going from a very bad book, we went to a very good book, and I read The Favorites by Lane Fargo, and I gave this a 6 stars. This is now up there with my top 3 books, which is Atmosphere and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Those 3 are my ultimate favorite books ever. Nothing's gonna top them, and I will recommend to anybody who will listen and hear. I actually recommended this to my English teacher, and she said she's gonna go read it. She already bought it and started reading it because it was just so good. I quite literally screamed, cried, and threw up when I was reading this book. My heart was beating out of my chest the entire time, and these characters felt so real that I was so close to looking them up on Google, forgetting that this is a fiction book and they are not real. I went on a whole figure skating rampage after I finished this book. Like, I was just watching skating videos like crazy after, and it was just so good, like so incredibly good. Oh my god, like I can't even talk too much about it, or I might sit here and cry, because like just how much we went through. Like, it was just one thing after another after another. When you think it's done, it's still going, still drama, like drama filled. Like, everything you thought couldn't have happened in this book, and it was just worth every single second I was reading this. I want to immediately go back and reread this book, and I will be doing it soon, because oh my god, I finished this book and felt so empty after. We gotta just move on, because I can sit here and talk about how good this book is, but I can't. We don't have time for that. But just, oh my god, please, when you are mentally prepared, because you have to be mentally prepared to read this, please read it. It's so good. It's just gonna have you like feeling like a whole new person when you're done reading it. Like, you're gonna just look at life differently. Then lastly, for February, I read One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I don't know how to say the last name, but I ended up giving this a 3.75. This low-key reminded me of The Thrashers, because of like the whole friend group, the high school setting, and somebody dies, and then basically like they're haunting everybody from their grave now that they're dead. And it was just kind of like the same thing, but this one was just better. Like, I liked the characters in here. I liked the plot better. The plot twist was better, and I was like into this book. Like, it was so, and especially the audiobook. Like, I feel like I would have been a little bored if I read it physically, but since it was like through audiobook, it was like really good. I cannot wait to watch the TV show because it's on Peacock, and I still haven't watched it yet, but I saw the characters for like the TV show, and I'm sorry, but that's not how I was imagining them in my head. Then for March, I read 9 books, and the first book that I read I do not have because it is not out yet, which is Unbound by Peyton Corrine. I can't say too much about it, but just know I gave this a 4.25. It was really, really good, and I cannot wait for it to come out so I can actually do a full review. It'll most likely be out on my TikTok, because I have so many thoughts. I have like a whole thing in my notes of just things I liked, disliked, and just found very memorable. This book definitely made me want to go back and read the first 2 books in the series, because this is the 3rd book, and the author's coming out with a 4th book, I think, at the end of this year. So now I want to go back and read those before the new one comes out. Then I read With a Vengeance by Riley Sager, and I gave this also a 4.25. I feel like I'm giving a lot of books that rating. The first maybe like 50 pages, I was a little scared that I was gonna have to DNF, because the whole plot just did not seem interesting to me, of like why they're even on this train in the first place. I was like, I really don't care. But then I kept reading and I kept pushing, and it was actually really worth it. It was very good, and getting all the like secrets from everybody, all the passengers on here. I don't even remember how many passengers were on here. It took 6 people total on here, and everybody's secrets just slowly pouring out. You don't know who to trust, and it was actually really good. The ending was satisfying. I did guess it a little, but I didn't guess the whole theme. Then I read One of Us Is Next, and I gave this one a 4 stars. Once again, I kind of still had the same feelings about the first one, but this one I liked a little bit one less. I feel like I just liked the characters more in the first book, but this one I also listened to an audiobook, and it was still really good. And like I said, finding out all the secrets, the whole plot I actually really liked about this one too. It was kind of like they were trying to mimic what Simon was doing in the first book in this one. And I feel like this one definitely had a lot more like crazy secrets than the first one had. Next we have Just Friends by Haley Pham. I still cannot believe she came out with a book. Like, this is quite literally insane, and I can't believe I read it. I literally read it like the week it came out, and I'm just so proud of her. Although I did give this a 3.5, I still think it was pretty good. Like, you can tell it's a debut novel, which is perfectly fine. Not everybody's gonna have like their first ever book being like an absolute banger. That might be some cases for some authors, but it's not for every single author, and I feel like a lot of people are going way too harsh on this book, and I think it's just because she's a YouTuber, and I just feel like not all of that negativity needs to be out there, and that's just my opinion. You are entitled to have your opinion about a book, but some of the things that people are saying on the line is kind of rude and disrespectful, and I do not support it, and I just want to go out and say that because it's just not nice. But with that being said, I give this a 3.5, like I said, and I don't know what it was, but it felt like when I was reading this book there was like a huge chunk of this book missing. Like, it just felt like something needed to be there. I can't pinpoint what, but it just felt like something was missing. Like, there should have been like a very important piece in here, and it just wasn't there. I also did not like Blair. She was not my favorite character ever. There was just like a couple times where she would just make it seem like her plot problems are way more worse than anybody else's, especially this one scene when he was complaining about his parents being too hard on him, and then she was just saying like, oh, be lucky you have your parents, I don't even know my dad, and she was just trying to make it seem like he shouldn't be able to complain about his parents because they're hard on him and she doesn't know her dad. But it's like, he can vent if he wants to. Like, the way she went about it gave me the biggest ick ever, and I was so mad for Declan, and especially because he just like brushed it off, and he was apologizing to her even though she should have been apologizing to him. And I feel like she was just he was just very too good for her. I'm sorry, but I think he was a little too good for her and very patient. But I feel like she definitely had some things she needed to work on before getting into a relationship. And there was also a lot of telling instead of showing. Like, the part where we finally find out what happened to him and why he like stopped playing football, I think it was, they didn't go back in time because this is like past and present, and the one time we like desperately should go back in time to figure out how it happened, we didn't go back in time, and they just told us instead of showing us. So it was like that whole build up of like what happened and what made them separate, and then it was just flat. Like, I feel like it was just a lot of telling instead of showing. So yeah, that was my opinions on this book. My expectations were like very low because of all the reviews I was seeing, but it really was not that bad. Then I read One of Us Is Back, and I gave that a 4.25, and this was the final book in the One of Us Is Lying series, and I actually really liked this book. I liked how we got the characters from the first book and the second book all in this one book, and the whole plot was just nice. All the relationships that got formed in this book were amazing, and it just felt so bittersweet when it was over, because it's just like, I low-key, like, these characters grew on me. Like, even though it wasn't my favorite books ever, like, they were just like, I like felt like a family, you know? And I was low-key sad when it was over, and I'm gonna miss them. But yeah, so my order for the books is One of Us Is Lying, One of Us Is Back, and then One of Us Is Next. Those are the order of the books of my favorite to least favorite. And yeah, it was just a very bittersweet moment, and it's over. And I also listened to this one in audiobook. I definitely recommend reading these through audiobook because, I don't know, I just feel like reading them physically would be so boring. Maybe not, because I didn't try it, but I just feel like these are really good audiobooks. Then I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Finally got to this. I had this book for so long, and this is one of TikTok's most popular freaking books. And I finally got to it, and I gave this a 3.75. I really thought I was gonna hate this book. Like, I thought I was gonna be one of those people that like absolutely hated it, gave it 1 star. Guys, it was actually really good. I also listened to this through audiobook, so maybe that's why, but it was actually good, and I was not expecting to like it. Like, I liked both of the characters. There was a good amount of spice. My favorite character by far though was definitely Henry, and I cannot wait to read his book. His book is the third book, Daydream, and I just loved his relationship with our main female character. Like, it was just so cute, and like the way he would protect her, like as if like that was his own sister, was just so freaking cute. Like, he literally fought her ex for her, like because he was talking smack about her. Like, I just I love Henry, and I cannot wait to read his book. Like, I low-key kind of want to skip the second one and just go to the third because it was just so cute. Then I read The Devil She Knows, and I give this a 1.5. So this was my lowest rated book out of the entire year so far, and I was so disappointed in this book. Like, I genuinely thought I was going to love this book, but there wasn't one thing I liked about this book. The only part that I liked about this book was the very last chapter in the epilogue. That was literally it. I was so tired of her pining for her ex and wanting her ex back for the entire book. Like, there's all of this that she wants her ex back, probably more than that. There's like all of this she wants her ex back, and then this is when they finally get to talking, and she realizes she likes the like demon that's, or the devil that's trying to help her. And then it was just so fast paced. Like, they finally, like, she automatically just thinks, actually, like, you're kind of cute. Like, I kind of like you. Like, we should like start something. Like, babes, this whole entire time you're trying to get your ex, and now you suddenly like her. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no. 1.5. Then I read It's Not Her. This book just came out, and this was actually my book club book for the month of March, and I give this a 3 stars. I was low-key very, very bored with this book, and I low-key guessed the ending. And this is like, I think one of the like only times I've ever guessed the ending, but I did guess it. It was a good ending, but I did no, I'm lying. I guessed the ending, but then there was a very, very, very ending plot twist that I did not guess. I was suspicious, but I didn't actually guess it. And this book actually came with like an alternate, oh, right here. It came with a alternate ending. So you have, which it's available for Target readers. So I actually recommend getting this from Target because you get the normal ending, and then you flip, and then you get a different ending. And that was actually kind of cool. I never read something like that, and it was fun getting 2 different endings. My favorite ending was probably, honestly, just the normal ending, not gonna lie. But yeah, I was very, very bored, and I just hate thriller books where it feels like we're getting nowhere. Like, I like when, like, that's why I like Freida McFadden books, because it feels like we're getting a little bit more. Each chapter ends on a cliffhanger, and it feels like we're getting a little bit more every chapter, and it feels like we're getting closer to like finding out the plot twist. I don't like thriller books where it feels like we're literally getting nowhere. Like, we're getting information that's literally not even important. Like, let's stop getting sidetracked and try to figure out the mystery. Like, I don't care about your sex life. That's what this kind of felt like. And then lastly, I read Of Ink and Alchemy, and this was my first ever 5 stars of the freaking year. Oh my god, did I love this book. Did I love this book. I loved everything about this book. I loved the freaking like plot. Like, it's between I think they're both tattoo artists. Her dad dies. It's not a spoiler. Her dad dies. He leaves the freaking tattoo shop to her and Logan, and it's just so nice. And also, he's been pining after her for years. Also, it's age gap, so he let her wait. Like, he waited until she was ready to get with him. He didn't try to force her or nothing. He let her be young and do what she wants to do, go date who she wants to date, and then when she was ready to come to him and be with him for the rest of her life. And I just loved that. I loved the flirting and the spice. The spice was spicy, not gonna lie. The photo shoot. And this book also did come with a playlist, so I was listening to it while I was reading, and it was superior. That playlist was perfect. I feel like the perfect songs were coming at the perfect moments, and it just felt like I was in the book. I loved both of the characters. I loved how they were both tatted up, because I feel like you always have the female character that just never has no tattoos, and then the MMC always having like a bunch of tattoos. Like, no. I liked how she was like dressed how she dressed, and like, look at this. Look, 8. Actually 8. I love this cover, and I love these sprayed edges. And actually this week the author came out with did a cover reveal for the second book, and period, I'm so excited for it to come out. I think it comes out September? No, October. I think it comes out October, and I'm so excited. I'm literally counting down the days. So Yeah, and this just felt like a breath of fresh air. Like, I've been reading like the same romances over and over. I just needed something different, and this was that something different. Like, this was so good. This book also did have me tearing up a little because her dad would leave her letters for like every milestone that she went through. So like if she turned, like when she turns 28, she opens this letter. When she gets engaged, she opens this letter, stuff like that. And she would like open the letters and he would leave her like this long letter, and it was just so freaking cute. Highly recommend, so freaking good. If you need something different, something good, read this. That is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed going through all these books. I feel like we did pretty good. This is a lot of books knocked off of the physical TBR, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video.